Hello everybody. Today is Thursday, October 20th. It's 4:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The regular session for the futures markets just closed about 3.5 minutes ago. You see the date here and the time on my computer clock. And I'm going to bring over the time and sales here, and you can check the last trade on the E-mini S&P at 4:03 and 35 seconds at 21.36 and a quarter. Pretty decent day for the auto trader today. Before I continue, first the required disclaimer. Okay, first up we have the DAX on the Super 6 tick, and this did 1762.50 for the day. What I want to point out here is that the losers are small and the winners are significantly more substantial, as we see here. Also want to point out the BWT indicators by themselves. If you didn't have the auto trader, just our indicators work really well. As you can see the trades here, the indicators turn the bars blue when the market's going up and red when it's going down. And then these would be your trailing stops here. So the BWT precision indicators do quite a good job if you're a discretionary trader. There's a number of ways to apply our indicators here. Okay, next up is the Nasdaq on the Super 10 tick, and it was a pretty impressive day on the Nasdaq here. We started off with a loser and then followed by a really solid long and a solid short trade. This is using our line break algorithm. We take a little closer look here. You see the line break signals, both short and long here. And so this was early in the morning, and then there was, again, the losers are small and the winners are substantially larger. This ended up doing 1700 for the day on 2 contracts. And not that many trades, maybe half a dozen trades, but as you can see, the losers are quite small, but the winners are quite large. Next up is the E-mini S&P on the Super 6 tick. This has turned out to be a very consistent performer. This particular setup starts trading at 12:30 noon, and it uses the line break module, and you can see here it got filled on our limit order, and we had a really solid short trade followed by a long. $700 in the E-mini S&P is about 14 points, which is 64 ticks. That's a lot in the E-mini S&P, and if any of you trade the E-mini S&P, you know how hard it is to make a 10-point trade. So here we went long at 38 down to 33. So basically we got 5 points on 2 contracts. And then on this trade, 3.5 points on 2 contracts. So pretty solid performance here in the E-mini S&P. Okay, here we have the crude oil, and I forgot to roll over the contract to the December contract. So consequently, it did not exit at the close here, and I hit the close position button, and of course, when the contract rolls over and it's no longer available, you get this huge spread. So we actually had a much more solid profit here. But I wanted to bring over this chart to kind of show once again how solid the indicators are just by themselves. If you just look at this long trade here, the signal at 50.17, this is from the indicators, and the signal to go short, even though way down here was 51.17, that's 100 ticks just signal to signal, but the trade actually went as high as 51.90, 51.93, which is about 170 ticks at its high. So if I back up a little bit here and we see how the indicators perform, there's a lot of really solid trades here if you were just following the indicators. And of course, this could be adjusted upward or downward to the sensitivity, but the BWT indicators are pretty spectacular on their own. Okay, we have a modest gain in the gold contract on the Super 6 tick. We took a little heat at the beginning, but then we had two winners here. One of them a really solid short trade, and then we got kind of chopped up at the end. So our equity high was probably nearly $1,000, and then we got kind of chopped up in this noise here, followed by a couple of small winners. Ended up with 330 for the day. Next up is the bonds on the Super 6 tick. This did 281 for the day. We had a little drawdown towards the open, and then we had a really solid long trade and another short trade afterwards, but still finished on the plus side of the ledger. Okay, next up is the Dow on the Super 6 tick. This had a pretty impressive performance today. A couple of small losers in the beginning, but then followed by very excellent long and short trade here. A couple of small losers here, and then a couple of winners at the end. Gave us 745 on two contracts in the Dow, which is only $5 per tick. Okay, I'll come back to our chart of the Nasdaq here. This is using our line break logic, and pretty impressive with these large, long, short, and then long trades here, and finishing out the day at 1710. If you'd like to find out more about the BWT Precision Auto Trader, please visit our website or send us an email to systems@bluewavetrading.com. Thank you for watching today.